Mr. Joe Dater. Are you there? I don't see him actually.
Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. It's a safe bet that it will be me in the bathroom. I'd say 87,
most of the time,
88% of the time.
If you're in New York City, Manhattan, Brooklyn, or Queens, chances are the person in the bathroom is Joe.
It's me.
Did you die? Are you okay? Holy cow.
I have returned like Gandalf. I am now Joe Dater the White. Man. I know that means nothing to you because you don't care about or understand Lord of the Rings.
No, I don't. I remember the Star Wars references, so you got to give me that. Greetings, Susan. Merciless abuser of your hand. You are a real monster of wanking.
This will be the final episode of Comedy Film Funnel as Susan.
I'm not doing well.
Will probably die on camera at any moment. And so we should start the eulogy now. I knew Susan for a number of years, although it seemed like much longer.
This is so much fun doing this podcast because it is so much fun to go back in history and ponder how different the sense of humor was. Rod Hall and Emu.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah. I would like to read you and our wonderful Patreon patron jokes from mid-18th century.
Okay, so not as old as my jokes.
Okay. An Irishman having a looking glass in his hand, the Hibernian, an Irishman and an Englishman, an Irishman, the father of an Irish student seeing his son doing something improper. Sorry, Irish people. I'm sorry.
I just need to know, is the father Irish also?
An Irishman.
Okay. Of course. It's probably a good thing that these people did not encounter many other races.
I mean, on paper, it looks good, right?
It's gotta be great.
There's even a Bowie cameo, for God's sake.
Bowie cameo. I mean, you've got half of Monty Python in it. It's gotta be great.
It's gotta be great.
It couldn't be less great. It's like the 1970s, but all the writers are like guys from the 50s. So they're
right. Oh, they're like, kids, whoa, those kids today going to rock concerts.
Kids with their rock concerts, Yeah. And as if you were reading that when you were 10 years old, you internalize that mentality. So Mad made a generation of children into old men because we were also like, yeah, these damn teenagers with their rock concerts, nuts to that.
News item. Will some of our perfumed Broadway strollers be arrested for fragrancy?
That's like an early, like a Jay Leno monologue joke. Oh, you hear this? Congress is about to make idleness a crime.
Yeah.
Why, you big beetle puss slug. Oh, boy, this is my big chance. We're rolling. I've seen it all before. Oh, here's your dinner with mashed potatoes. You don't have to put the clips in here because I'm just going to recreate the entire
that's the
short.
Thing. I figured that I would.
I'm just going to recreate the entire short. And I'm going to give an impression now of the experience of watching Diplomaniacs. This is the experience of watching Diplomaniacs. It starts out, okay. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, God. Oh, man.
It included a cast of characters that included Judy Landers, who I love. I love Judy. Yes. I love the Landers twins. Love the Landers twins.
Now, I notice you use one over the other. Why?
I don't. No. I would never do that. Never. No.
Okay.
So Eric Idle has said this is one of the worst movies he's ever done, but he says the best times can be on the worst movies and vice versa. I wouldn't have missed it for the world. Best times, they have like Marty Feldman dying on them, but yeah, it was a good time. Federico Fellini wanted and asked Peter Cook to be in Satyricon. This is 1969. Now, if you see Satyricon, oh my God, just picture this. But he changed his mind because he found out that Peter Cook was a Scorpio. You can almost argue it's a celebration of war. You can almost argue it's a celebration of war instead of a criticism of it.
There's a musical number announcing that they're going to war.
Yes.
Freedonia's going to war. At last, that country's going to war.
I was talking about constructive and destructive humor. I think they have been destructive in a lot of ways, but altogether, what they're doing is really setting up food for thought. Trey is just a thinker. He really is. He's really thinking about every angle, which I don't think most people are. frankly. And I think comedians or artists or people writing for television, writing for movies who are making points, I don't think are thinking nearly as hard as Trey Parker is about a lot of these issues.
I still have a hard time with unilaterally criticizing both sides when one of those sides is akin to the rise of fascism in Europe.
I mean, that's just a point that we just aren't going to agree on.
It was assault is what it was. He just committed assault with the puppet. That was his whole act. The manner in which she's introduced in the movie is a bit troubling.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
She's basically dispensed out of a tube in a bag like a instant dinner out of a microwave.
Plunk your magic twanger froggy.
Yeah, that's problematic. Plunk your magic twanger froggy.
Plunk your magic twanger, Froggy.
In 1933, in the height of their fame, he was a goodwill ambassador to the Soviet Union. And he did a little bit of spying stuff, kind of. He's a secret courier. He would tape letters to his leg when he'd go on the airplane to come home and that sort of thing. It was communiques from the U.S. Embassy. Yes, Harpo would strap communiques.
Because who would suspect? Harpo,
I wouldn't.
Of all people, who would suspect?
It's like sending what's the basketball player who went to Kim Jong-il?
Dennis Rodman. It's like sending Dennis Rodman to North Korea.
I have no doubt Dennis Rodman knew exactly what he was doing.
It was an ad campaign that ran for years and years trying to get British people to eat more eggs.
Change pa to pig and pal to dog, and you've got eggs. And they're rich in protein and a very valuable food.
And one of the commercials is titled Sold His Soul.
Wow. There you go. I'm sorry.
I can see by your reaction that you are floored by that amazing coincidence.
I'm going to redo that.
This is why it's the comedy funnel, because much like a funnel, that information was fed to you and immediately came out the bottom. Whopper is funny.
I think Wendy's is kind of the homiest.
But I don't think there's anything funny about Wendy's. What's funny about Wendy's?
Because Wendy is such a goofy name, and she's got red hair, and she's got red hair, and her braids are swinging.
How
out
is Wendy's? How is Wendy from Wendy's funnier than a king who's the king of burgers?
I'm sitting on the stoop where Marx Brothers used to sit, and God, if I had been born at a different time, maybe I would have been a different Susan, and I would have ended up with a husband named Arthur Marx. You know what broke my heart once was Conan O'Brien once said, because I love Conan O'Brien so much. And once he was like, I hate cynical people. There's one thing I hate, it's cynicism. And I was like, my heart just broke in half.
I took a little program that I had and I like ripped it up and balled it up and threw it at him. And he went, good.
And so Joe got a shout out from Graham Chapman. Some of these are still in print. Very popular. Poetry about a cat and a cockroach. Illustrated by George Harriman.
2 of the arms are real. They're mine.
Right.
And the other 4 were my arms. They were molds of my arms, but they were mechanical arms.
Yeah.
Or puppeteer arms.
But Lady Elaine Fairchild, she can just F off.
Garden of make-believe. The magical garden of make-believe.
If I had gotten $1 million, I would have used it to go and kill a taper. When SCTV did the Battle of the PBS Stars, they had Mr. Rogers in the ring with Julia Child, and he took out the King Friday puppet and started beating her with it. So that,
wow,
one of my favorite moments.
But what's so funny is she has it on. It looks like a goat skin.
Say, tell me, what's it printed on?
My grandfather.
South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, and I watched it every day.
Wow.
For like months. And I loved that stuff. And I did so many things like that when I was young.
I had stacks of Wacky Packer stickers and cards. Yeah. And he's like the best. Oh my God, I love him so much. He is so friggin' good.
Everything about it is funny. It's just goofy and silly and ridiculous. And I adore it.
Here's the thing. It was so funny.
It's so funny.